Hey, this is Mark Mopp, and we've got a group of 3 or 4 people here today we're going to be talking to and giving them some tips. And I really want to start with what I consider to be where everybody should start out, because it's a way for you to learn the business. So that's really to head for wholesaling real estate. But before you even wholesale, you need to be able to generate leads. So we're going to talk today, just give you like 10 minutes worth of really powerful stuff so you can get your lead generation business coming, and then you can jump into the wholesale business. So we're going to talk about what lead generation can do for you, how to generate the leads, how to market yourself, and basically with lead generation, which is what I do because I work a full-time job, I handle a bunch of accounts, so I make good money in real estate by just generating leads and giving them to existing wholesalers. They go put the deals together, and they found that my leads are powerful enough and good enough that I'm able to get 50% of what they do. Now, starting out, you will not be able to do that. You just need to find some experienced wholesalers that you can work with and start working with them and develop a reputation for being able to generate some good leads. Then you can work yourself up to negotiating a higher dollar amount. So, so I've got 2 or 3 people I send the leads to, and I've got one main person because he gives me instant feedback. So I'm going to talk about all this right now. So why lead generation? It's low cost. There's no experience needed. You can work a full-time or part-time job. You can be older like me. Tell people you're retired. It's less stressful than anything I've done around real estate. So the first thing you want to do is you want to create yourself a limited liability company, because if you end up being a partner with somebody, you're doing something where you're doing it with a limited liability company, you'll avoid getting sued personally, and they'd have to, if somebody sued you, they'd be suing your limited liability company. They can only take what's in that limited liability company, which would be your lead generation business. So I highly recommend that. You want to go get yourself some cheap business cards that just say, I buy houses for cash in any condition, your name and a phone number. That's it. If you're not a realtor, you want to put on the back of your business card that you can pay a referral fee. If you're a licensed real estate agent like me, I cannot pay a referral fee to a non-licensed agent. So I'm not going to have that on my cards. Then you want to get, and we're gonna, if you look at the screen, you want to get some Bandit Signs. A good place to get those is supercheapsigns.com, supercheapsigns.com. And you can buy Bandit Signs. We found that the 18 inches by 24 inches are the best ones. They're bigger, and we use those Bandit Signs, and we'll put them on. In my case, like in the Detroit market, we've got a lot of boarded up houses. Sometimes we put them directly on the house. And we got areas where that I market to where I'll come out of the block and there'll be a stop sign before it goes into a major artery. We'll put the sign on the telephone pole. So there's lots of ways to generate leads. In my case, I am an internet marketer, and I generate my best leads off the internet. We're going to be doing a later seminar telling you how you can market on the internet and what to do. So I'm not going to get into that today. If you got some skill set around internet marketing, that's a great lead. It's a higher quality lead for me. The second best leads I get are off the Bandit Signs. And then, so what you want to do is, starting out, you want to start doing driving for dollars. So you're going to go to some of the real estate meetings, or you're going to listen to some of the people that are actively out buying their properties. And then those are the movers and shakers, and you're going to find out what area they want to buy in. They're going to give you that area, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go post your Bandit Signs in that area, and you're going to drive that area, called driving for dollars. And when you're driving, you're looking for high grass or weeds where nobody's in the house. You're looking for if it was in the winter, you'd be looking for snow on the drive that hadn't been shoveled. but you're looking for houses with like gutters hanging. They're functionally, you can look at it and you can tell that the houses are in need of repairs. So bad roofs, stuff like that. So when you see those kinds of houses, what I do, and works really well for me, is I've actually developed just a plain sheet of paper, and we put it on a plastic insert, and we go up and tape it onto the door. Or if it's like a boarded up house, we'll actually staple it onto the boards. And it says that we're interested in purchasing the house. And it has our name and phone number and information on it. So once what happens is that people come up in the neighborhood and they read the sign. And if you're not a realtor, you could always put in there, I'm interested in purchasing this house. If you know who the owner is, have them contact me. And if I actually purchase it, I'll pay you a referral fee. In my case, I can't do that. But what happens is tons of people will go up and read that and call you. And what's weird is you've left a note saying you want to buy the house, but they're going to call and ask you if you rent properties or if you've got other houses to sell. So what you're really doing is generating a lead for either a renter or a buyer. Remember, you're now your lead generator. So there's landlords that need leads, and there's also people that you can get pre-qualified that, well, how much money do you have to work for? So I'm going to give you a list of questions that you want to ask the people as we go through this. So that's one way to generate the lead. Then other ways to find leads is you go to the real estate investment clubs, you go to anywhere where you can find, like there's a meetup site or there's Zoom meetings going on, and just set into them and listen. You want to look for certain kinds of people that can generate you leads, like a district court bailiff or a court clerk can get you leads. Somebody that would have leads would be a funeral home director, because people, that are dying and they're liquidating property. The mail carrier knows everything that's going on in a neighborhood. So you want to talk to the mail carrier. If you've got a relationship with a mail carrier, then they can tell by people's mail if they're in trouble, if they're in foreclosure. They know a lot. So they know houses that are vacant in their territory. So they're a good resource. You want to work with certain kinds of attorneys, divorce attorneys, probate attorneys. You want to look for code enforcers with the city, because they know where there's motivation, or landlords that are in trouble. You want to look at places like in a pawn shop, if you know some pawn shop owners. Or you want to mortgage people, because people are getting refinanced because they're in trouble. Other wholesalers. Unemployment office. You want to put your bandit signs up across the street from an unemployment office. So there's just tons of ways to generate the leads like that. I'm not going to go into all of them right now. We've got other videos that you can watch that get into that. But once you actually get the person calling you, remember you've set up those signs now, you've got your bandit signs, and somebody calls you and they're going to say, do you want to sell that? Do you buy homes? So what I do is we use a system called Call Tracker Jack. So we actually record the calls, and when my phone rings, remember I'm handling a lot of different businesses. Lead, handwritten sign lead, map location, internet lead. It's telling me where the lead's coming from, and it's cash for your house lead. So the second I answer it, and it's telling the people on the other end, when I'm hearing it tell me that it's a cash call, it's telling them that this call may be recorded for quality purposes. So now they're telling me, asking me the question, do you buy houses? So there's certain things you want to get from them. You just want to be yourself and say yes, and I just tell them, I've been doing this for a lot of years, and I've got a really good partner that hold of them. Now, everything they're saying to me is getting recorded. So remember, I'm a pretty busy guy. So instead of having to write everything down, I just need to understand the basic information I'm trying to find out, which is I'm going to verify that the number they just called me on is the best number. I'm looking right at my cell phone so I can repeat the number back to them. I'm asking them what their name is. I'm making sure they have my name. I'm asking for the address of the property. I'm asking if they've got an alternate phone number that we could have. I'm trying to seek out the motivation. Like, can you tell me something about the house? And at that point, sometimes they'll tell me, like, we just had one last night. My well went out. The motor's not good, and the furnace is not working. So you start to get what the motivation is, or they'll tell you, I've got a new house under contract. I need to get this house gone. So you need to try to free up and let them tell the story. So what's got you wanting to sell the house or whatever? Just try to enter some conversation, but listen to them. And everything they tell you, say, oh yeah, that's good. They're telling you the house is in rough shape. Say, that's good. We like houses. We do repairs because, we're involved in find, fix, and flip. So become a really good listener and let them talk as much as you can. So you're trying to seek out the motivation. So then you're going to ask them, what do you want for the property? What do you owe? Are there any liens? Do you have taxes or water bills that are due? What's your timeline to sell? And then you want to also ask them, hey, are you talking to any other investors? So to determine if they've only called you. And then the condition of the property, you're trying to ask that. We already talked about that. And then you're asking them, the last thing is, what price do you want for the property? So now, as a lead generator, I'm done. I've got all my information. I'm putting this lead on a spreadsheet. I'm sending it over to the wholesaler. And now, as a lead generator, what's critical is you have to have a wholesaler that will go call the customer back immediately. So now I'm getting a text. Remember, I've got this call tracker Jack. It sends me a text, and it's got a recording of the call I just did. So now I can actually forward that call to the wholesaler, which gives him all the information he wants. He's got a permanent record he can keep in his phone. I can then also copy that text message and send him an email. So what I do is I send a text and an email, and then I want to hear back from the wholesaler letting me know that he's got an appointment. So he'll text me back saying, I've got an appointment for tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. So he's on that lead like that. Key to doing this. So it's your job, when you get into this business, you need to go to meetings. Like here in Michigan, like there's a Renegade group. It's full of wholesalers. You want to go to as many wholesale meetings, or where you meet as many wholesalers as you can, because you got to sift through them and find the ones that are really on it. Go right out immediately on the leads. So that's how I do this business. It's really simple. I mean, that's my whole job right there, is to get an appointment. But then I have to figure out how to make my phone ring. So that's all the different things we've been talking about there that you need to be able to do. So it's all a numbers game. So if you've got 50 Bandit signs out, you're only going to be so busy. And let's say those 50 Bandit signs are generating you 10 calls a month. Well, then it becomes a numbers game. So if it generates you 10, if you've got 50 signs out, if you had 500 signs out, it would generate you 100 calls. So you have to ramp it up. So your investments in your Bandit signs, your investments in being able to drive, it's your investments on developing relationships with people that spot motivation, and then you've got to work out systems where everybody wins inside that. That's my tip for today, and my name is Mark Maupin, and that's all I got to say about that.